Chatroom presented by Kotak Securities. I am Indu Chaudhary. Today I am going to discuss Paradeep Phosphates Limited's upcoming IPO, and we have with us Mr. Narayanan Suresh Krishnan, MD of Paradeep Phosphates Limited, and Mr. Sabaleel Nandy, COO of the company. Welcome, gentlemen. Glad to have you on our platform. Mr. Krishnan, I would like to start with you. Could you please give us a brief about this IPO?
Thank you. Paradeep Phosphate Limited is close to about a 40-year-old company, and which has been under our management of Zuari Maruk Phosphate since the year 2001. This company has been through various phases of growth. Now it's matured itself to being a large fertilizer manufacturer in India with significant presence in the eastern part of the country and also certain parts of central India. This company, as part of its own growth strategy, is now moving up from a 1.2 million ton capacity to a 3 million ton capacity. So the current IPO that we are looking at is primarily to finance the growth that is taking place in the company. And to give you a feel, the total size of the IPO is 1,500 crores, of which one third is towards the offer for sale, which is being made by Government of India. Government of India is making a complete exit of its residual stake of 19.55% in the company, and which is what the OFS literally constitutes. As far as the balance 1,000 crores which we are raising as part of the primary is concerned, this will be a capital that will be used for growth. And I will enumerate this. One part of this will be to reduce the debt in the company, and which will only go to further strengthen the balance sheet. And the second part of this will be to part finance our acquisition of a Goa facility, which is in the west coast of India, which will give us an additional volume of 1.2 million tons. So this is the overall background as to why we are doing this IPO and how we're going to handle the proceeds of the IPO.
Sure. Mr. Nandi, I want to understand how much debt the company will be able to pay off with this issue. Could you please give us the amount?
Yeah, so the way we are doing it, as Mr. Krishnan alluded, we are looking at 1,000 crores of infusion into the company, of which 550 odd crores is going to go towards Goa acquisition. In terms of the remaining 500 crores that is coming into the company to be utilized for repayment of debts as well as for general corporate purposes. The general corporate purposes may also go towards improvement of the overall balance sheet health, which means repayment of debt as well as towards certain capex projects.
Could you please tell us what kind of capacity the company is planning to expand, and what are your future plans post listing?
As far as we're concerned, we were a 1.2 million ton fertilizer company to begin with. And on the date of the red herring prospectus, which is December 31st, our capacity has already moved up to 1.5 million tons. And we will be, during this financial year, our capacity is expected to increase to 1.8 million tons in terms of finished goods. And our acquisition will take our overall capacity to 3 million tons. So this is the overall trajectory in terms of volume growth that we're looking at, going up from 1.2 million tons to 3 million tons. As far as further growth is concerned, within the existing complex, we are also doing a backward integration of substantially increasing our phosphoric acid capacity, which is currently at about 200,000 tons, which will be moving more to closer to 500,000 tons in the coming year. These are the immediate plans for us, and our entire focus will be to complete the same and get to the top line of 3 million tons during this financial year.
Mr. Nandi, could you please help us to understand your clients list? What kind of clients do you have?
Yeah, phosphatic fertilizers are nothing but in basic school level chemistry. These are fertilizers which have N, P, and K. N is nitrogen, P is phosphorus, and K is potash. This is like the basic chemistry. Whereas the more familiar term, which is urea, which I guess most people are more familiar with, has only got N. So when it comes to, there is like we human beings need to have balanced diet. Similarly, the soil and the crops that we grow need to have balanced nutrition. So this balanced nutrition means they need to have all the various chemicals and nutrients that are required for best yields of the crop. And these nutrients means it is not just restricted to nitrogen, it needs to be nitrogen, phosphorus, and K. So complex fertilizers, this term is are those fertilizers which is multi-nutritional, not just one nutrient. They provide nutrition to the plants in the form of more than one nutrient coming through that product, and that's what we make. So in the world today, there is this whole concept of balanced nutrition to the soil, and which is more like saying the ideal combination globally accepted is something like 4 of N, 3 of P, and something like 1.5 of K, depending on the type of soil. In India, it is skewed in favor of N. We use almost 7 of N and 2.5 of P, etc. So that is because the urea prices are lower. But going forward, in most developed nations, we are finding that farmers and the more advanced farmers are actually opting for this balanced nutrition approach, which is why the adoption of complex fertilizers is actually going up in a big way. And that is where we are as we Paradeep Phosphates, or PPL, is a pure play phosphatic player. We call ourselves a zero distraction phosphatic player.
Sure. So, any plans to expand your wings to other nations, also other countries, also?
So, firstly, about expansion, as Mr. Krishnan was also referred to, we are going through a very massive capacity expansion program. As of March 2021, we were at 12 lakh tons of total capacity. During the year, last year, we increased it from 12 lakhs in Paradeep, our plant, to 15 lakhs. As you know, we are acquiring the Goa plant. That will give us another 12 lakhs. So we will move from 15 lakhs to 27 lakhs of total capacity as soon as the IPO is completed. And then we are going to be adding another 3 lakh tons, for which the work is underway right now, by September. So by end September, we would be moving from something like 12 lakh tons that we had in March 2021 to 30 lakh tons, or 3 million tons of capacity that we will have from end of September. Coming to your second question related to exports, as you know, India as a nation, we import close to 50% of our DAP consumption. We are an import. We do not make enough for our own consumption. So as a fertilizer player, as one of the largest fertilizer players of the country, our primary responsibility is to contribute in our own way to the theme of being Atmanirbhar, which is to first and foremost meet the domestic requirements of our farmers in terms of fertilizer demand. And that's what we are trying to fulfill right now. And that is where this whole endeavor of capacity utilization will largely be attributed to.
Mr. Krishnan, coming back to you, we have seen a revenue of 5,164 crore uh, in FY21, and the net profit has also jumped by 223.27 crore. Uh, what would be your next strategy, or we can see what kind of growth can we expect in next 3 to 5 years?
Well, when you look at growth for us, as I said, the first milestone for us is to achieve the 3 million ton capacity that we are targeting. The 3 million ton capacity itself will give us revenue growth from where we were at 1.2 million tons earlier. So that's the first part of it. When it comes to further growth, I think it's important to understand that we are in the phosphatic fertilizer space at present, enjoying close to about 12 to 14% market share. I think our whole strategy would be not only to maintain this market share, but also to really ensure that we are able to move well towards a 20% market share in the coming years. And that's where our strategies will be played around. And I must also be very clear that our entire capital allocation strategy for us is going to be primarily based on the fact that we are a focused phosphatic player, and our entire investment strategy will be around that. And we will, once we have the free cash flows and we are able to reach our primary target of reaching the concerned market share, we will certainly look at other opportunities, but within the same space of agri inputs.
Sure. Thank you so much, sir, for joining in and explaining all the informations with us. And we wish you all the very best for your upcoming IPO.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Investments in securities market are subject to market risks. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.